Deceit 2 is a free 9-player social deduction horror game that is crossplay on Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox. It involves many lying, survival, and cooperative elements, so if you're interested in those genres, then you will probably enjoy this game. As a player, you try to figure out who among you are not being honest about who they are, or on the other team, you will be attempting to deceive the rest of the group to hide your true intentions. Once you get into the game, you will be presented with one of 3 teams: innocent, infected, or cursed, where if you're infected or cursed, you can choose your role. Starting out in each game, there are 6 humans, 2 infected, and 1 cursed. When you load in, you will spawn in a random place on one of the multiple maps, including an asylum, a circus, a manor, etc. Voice chat is a massive part of this game, so make sure you are communicating with your team. When you come across other players, you will be able to use the proximity voice chat to talk to them, share your findings, and potentially accuse them of deceit. As an infected player or the cursed Soulbound role, you will have a private chat to talk to just your teammate. This is not proximity based and is global instead. For those of you that cannot or don't want to use your microphone, there are a couple of options that you can use. There is a quick chat wheel that uses the character's voice lines and makes a gesture. There is also the option to ping certain things around the map, whether that be players, weak points, or tasks. Speaking of tasks, that is the main way the game progresses. The Innocent's main objective in Deceit 2 is to finish all the tasks and escape from the ritual. To help you along this path, there are a few shops around the map that will allow you to obtain many different items. Your first one will be free and randomly chosen, but after that, more item slots are unlocked as more tasks are finished, and you will be able to pick which ones you want. As an infected player, you will notice that you can see players through walls. This will allow you to more easily activate weak points around the map without being caught. These weak points will bring forth the in-between, or the night period, where the infected become much stronger. You can find them around all the maps, and they are always in the same location each time. As you may see here, they all have this demonic look to them. The more that you and your teammate activate, the faster the in-between comes, and the longer it lasts. When activating some of these weak points, you may see icons above them. These are your terror mutations. Starting out a game, you won't have any available, but through activating weak points with these icons, you will obtain them. These mutations are single-use abilities that help out a lot. They can range from teleporting everyone in the game to random spots on the map, to silencing everyone for a short period, to freezing everyone in place. These mutations are also shared between you and your teammate, so make sure to coordinate with them before you use any. Now, when it comes to doing weak points, sometimes an infected player will get caught coming from one. In this situation, the innocents will need to cast their votes on who they believe it is. This can be done through interacting with a player that has been downed. That can be done with things like the pistol or the knuckle dusters or just your fists. Now you have to make sure not to vote out the wrong people, or else you are losing a valuable member on your team. Once enough time passes in a round, the in-between period begins. This is a phase of the game that is dark and spooky and much more dangerous. Players will be in an anonymous form for the most part. You won't be able to hurt or vote anyone. Voice chat is global rather than proximity, and this is the time where the infected are at their strongest. In the in-between, they are able to transform into their terror forms. After they do, they can hunt you down and perform a ritual on you and take you out of the game. In the in-between, every player has a sanity meter independent of their health. Many different things can drain your sanity, including simply existing in the in-between, but there are ways to slow this. Watch out for anything that shows this indicator on your screen. That means something is draining your sanity, whether that be eyes on the wall, a bat that bites you in the neck, or the terror's grab. Be careful to not let your sanity get too low, or you will be able to get taken out much easier by the terrors, as when you hit 0, you won't be able to run anymore and you will die if you are grabbed by the terrors. To regain your sanity, you have a couple of options. You can do tasks, which will increase your sanity level by a small amount. Get a sanity syringe in the peddler, though you can only buy one. or just make it back to the reality or day phase as you passively regain sanity there. Surviving in the in-between is a hard task, but you have many things at your disposal to evade the evil terrors. These mainly include wall cracks, vaults, portals, and of course your items. You can find many of these cracks in the wall that you can slip through, as well as many of these low walls that you can vault over that help you escape when you get chased by a terror, though watch out, some terrors can go through these as well. There are also these portals that will take you to another part of the map. When you are nowhere near any of those things though, it can be hard to escape, so make sure you're stocked up on items that produce light like a camera or torch, as the terrors and other creatures of the in-between can be stunned by the light. It is still important to remember though, these only slow them down and there's no way to directly fight back. Your main way of surviving is getting away, as the only way to end the in-between is through a kill, running out the timer, or escaping through the door, which I will talk about later. Currently, at the time of this video's release, there are 4 terrors in the game: the experiment, the werewolf, the vampire, and the clown. All have unique abilities and play very differently. First off, we have the experiment. This is the base terror that you will have for free without any DLC, but that does not mean it's weak. It has 3 main abilities: chokehold, rage, and light block. Chokehold is the experiment's grab ability that all of the terrors have a variation of. These grabs all differ slightly in escaping them, but are similar in how they work. Chokehold will hold up a human, draining their sanity. Rage will make the experiment charge forward and scream, draining the sanity of anyone that it sees massively. And the light block will stop any light damage from stunning you, but with the downside of a reduced vision and movement speed. This terror also has a passive ability, being the eyes on the wall that spawn around the map when it screams. These eyes drain the sanity of anyone they see. The werewolf has the abilities Maim, Hunt, and Howl. Maim is a grab, but with the addition of a medium range leap that will grab any human in its way. But be careful, as if the werewolf is stunned with light mid-leap, it will be stunned for longer than usual. The Howl will disorientate and drain sanity of anyone who is close enough to hear it, and spawns wolves around the map that bark at humans, which also drains their sanity. Something to note is that when you howl as a werewolf, your wolves howl too, and will mark humans so you know where they are. Lastly, the hunt is effectively a sprint that ramps up from slow to very fast. The vampire is quite unique. It has the abilities Bite, Blink, and Bat. The Bite is the vampire's version of the grab that drains human sanity. The Blink though is a short-range teleport that can go through walls, up floors, and a well-timed teleport can make a flash from a camera or trap ineffective, which is necessary as when the vampire is flashed by light once, it teleports to a random place away from where it was flashed. Lastly, it has the Bat. This bat can be sent out towards anyone on the map, and it will pathfind to them to bite them and reduce some of their sanity. While transformed, you can see players rotate where the ability is. Once you use the ability, the bat will be sent to whoever is shown. Then we have the clown. It has the abilities Hysterical, Go Bananas, and Jack in the Box. Hysterical is the clown's grab ability. The clown also has some unique features to it though. As the clown, you are very slow starting out, but you will see bananas floating around the map. Picking these up increase your base speed, as well as gives you a speed boost for a couple seconds after picking it up. Once enough bananas are picked up, you can activate the Go Bananas ability. This shows everyone on the map for a couple of seconds, increases your speed, and makes you invulnerable to light while it's active. But be careful, if the clown is stunned by any light before it activates its Go Bananas ability, it will lose all its bananas and go back to its slow starting speed. Lastly, it has the Jack in the Box ability. This places a trap on the map where if a player walks into it, this happens. The player is jump scared, alerting the terror, reducing their movement speed, sanity, and hopefully scaring the person that is playing the game in real life. These traps can be disabled with light if you catch one without stepping on it. And on that note, The experiment's eyes, the werewolf's wolves, and the vampire's bat can all be stunned too if you have a light item. Something else that most of the terrors can do is break walls found around the maps to make an easier path to hunt players, and block off wall cracks that players might try to escape through. Though to note, the experiment can break both of these but not vault. The werewolf can break both at a slower rate but can vault. The vampire cannot do any of those things, but it has the teleport ability, so it doesn't really matter. And the clown can go through wall cracks and over vaults, but it cannot break walls unless he is going bananas. The experiment's rage also smashed through these as well. The maps themselves are also not just filled with tasks. There are many different points of interest that are sometimes exclusive to the maps they are on. There are tannoys on every map which allow you to project your voice all across the map if you need everyone to hear something. The asylum map has an elevator that takes you to the different floors, and it also has the inspection table. Each map has an information area like this. These activate near the beginning of the game. The inspection table will allow one person to scan whoever sits on the chair in the inspection room. This will tell the person using the scanner what the person in the chair's role is. This and other information areas are one use, so use wisely. The Wergen map has doors that do not open unless you put in the right code, which is found on TVs across the map. Its information area is the inspection vats. These tubes show whether or not two players are on the same team or not. This means it can produce a green result even when there are two infected or soulbound in there, so this makes it a lot more interesting. The manor has these rotating doors that take you to the other sides of walls, which is useful for running away and hiding. Its information area is the confession booth. Two players go in, and they have the choice to confess or condemn. If they confess, they show the other player their team. If they condemn, the other player is killed. Both players can confess and see each other's team. Both can condemn and both will die, or only one can choose condemn and kill the other person. Lastly, we have the circus map, which has the Oracle's tent. The Oracle offers 3 random questions that will be answered about the players that are in the tent. It could ask something like how many infected are with us, and if there is 0, 1, or 2 infected in the tent, it will give out that information. For the infected and cursed, all of the maps have some sort of sabotage that can be done, which stop all tasks from being able to be collected and slows the innocents down. On the asylum, the players will have to fix a generator. On Wergen, they have to play this timing game. On Manor, they have to banish Boris the butler. And on Circus, they have to find the Ferris wheel parts. Something else that is present on every map is the escape doors. This is where the innocents will go to escape with a key once enough tasks are completed. The key can be picked up from any of the peddlers. Each key responds to a specific door, which is the furthest one from that peddler. Once a key has been picked up, if there is a cursed present, they will die, and the game enters the escape sequence where the day will not return. Innocents have a countdown where they need to escape in that time or everyone dies. While holding a key, an innocent cannot use any of their items, so coordinate with your fellow players to help them while they carry the key to the exit. If this is not possible, you can send the key back to the peddlers yourself to let someone else pick it up instead, or to choose a different door to go to. As for the terrors, grabbing any player in this phase will kill them quickly and not in the sequence, so you can get as many people as you can. Once someone is killed with the key, it will also go back to the peddlers. Once a key is used on the door, it starts its unlocking phase. This takes longer the more innocents are alive and the less infected are alive. Once a door is open though, it is not over. The innocents still have to get through it. If terrors are just too good at blocking one of the unlocked doors though, you can go to another peddler and open another door. As long as the time doesn't run out, you can get out through another door. Something I have mentioned a lot at this point but didn't go into specifics are the cursed roles. These are effectively a neutral team. These roles all have different win conditions and play very differently. The free role that you will have without buying any DLC is the Mimic. This one is pretty simple. After a couple of people are eliminated from the game, you will be able to choose from their roles, turning you into a human, possibly with a human role or an infected. The second cursed role is the chemist. They will be able to choose a person every once in a while to poison them, blocking their abilities for a short time. Once everyone in the game is poisoned, everyone starts to drain health quickly and will die if the chemist is not voted out. You can narrow down who they are by seeing who is not poisoned, as the chemist cannot poison themselves. While not very menacing early game, this role can be very deadly as the game goes on longer. Next is the Soulbound. This curse can choose a teammate from anyone alive in the game after a round, making them cursed, regardless of their role previously, human or infected. They will also have their own private chat like the infected do. They will win if they are the only 2 players remaining. The original Soulbound also gets the Soul Strike ability, where if the 2 Soulbound are near a downed player, they can instantly vote them out, but be careful as this is very obvious. As a heads up, if an infected turns Soulbound, they no longer win with the infected and get taken out of the infected chat. We now also have the Phantom. This is like a jester if you played any other social deductions in the past. The Phantom wants to get voted out before the infected do. If they are successful, they return at a random spot as the Menace, with a short visual on everyone across the map, increased movement speed, and a pistol that instantly kills anyone. The newly spawned Menace has a timer that changes based on remaining players to kill everyone else and win. The Phantom is not immortal though, and has the same health as a normal human, and can be stopped with items like handcuffs pretty easily. Be careful of this heartbeat sound, as it means either a human is near when you're playing Phantom, or the Phantom is near when you're a human. The Innocents also have roles of their own. By default, in games of 9, there are 3 humans that have special roles. These can include the Guardian, Warden, Inquisitor, and Seer. The Guardian is able to protect one person, not including themselves, before each night. If that person is killed by a terror, they instead will live and end the in-between without a kill. Though to note, every player can only be protected once per game. The Warden is able to choose one person each game to mark. A player who is marked will instantly die if they are downed, regardless of how many votes they have on them. Though, if the player that is killed is innocent, the Warden will die as well. This also includes if they are killed by a terror in the in-between. For the player who is marked, they will just have to make sure they are not downed until the Warden is dead, as when they die, the mark goes away. The Inquisitor is an informative role that shows footsteps from nearby players, as well as activated weak points around the map, and, if you're close, how long ago they were activated with which mutation was on it. The Seer is another informative role that is activatable in the in-between. You create a bubble around you which dispels the anonymous form, showing you who is near you in the in-between for a few seconds. As a drawback though, you cannot move while it is activated, and the range is fairly short. That just about covers what I wanted to go over when it comes to gameplay, but there are some things I wanted to go over about the out-of-game experience. This is the current menu of Deceit 2, and I am going to go over a few aspects of it. Firstly, to get in the game, you can just click play and it will matchmake you into a game, but if you want a custom lobby, you can make your own or search for an open party here. Next up we have the Learn section, which gives you a refresher if you forgot what a role does. The Season tab shows the Season Pass that is currently available along with the cosmetics in the pass. The Collection tab hosts your cosmetics, mutation, daily reward, and the Crypt. The Crypt can be activated with keys obtainable through things like the Season Pass, and it will give you 3 random cosmetics of that rarity key. The Ascension tab has accolades which track progress through your games. The more you complete, the better implant you get in your hand. Profile shows off your total level as well as your current level of each team. Last here is the store, where you can buy roles, blessings, and cosmetics. Also in the top right, you have your social section with a friends list so you can invite your friends to a party. The last thing that I want to go over in this how to play video is actually how not to play. Things get very tense in a game where you can fight each other and lie to each other, but that does not mean it's okay to ruin other people's experience with things like toxicity, trolling, or discrimination. It is important to realize this is just a game at the end of the day, and to not take it so seriously. A complete rules list is on their website, so you can see what not to do while in game, and to see what you can report others for doing in your games. Also keep in mind, there is a section in the menu with a volume slider and mute button, as well as a block section for players you don't want to play with again. That just about wraps it up for my third yearly how to play video for Deceit 2. This took a lot of work to make, so I really hope that it helps some of y'all new deceivers getting started on your journey through Deceit 2. If you enjoyed it and want to see more guides and gameplay for this game from me in the future, I recommend subscribing, as I have a ton of content already posted and more coming. Once again, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you all so much for watching.
Once held high up in heaven's own nest, I was sent back down and disturbed in my rest. Rebel bullets rained down in West Civilian chest.